The new parliamentary year has got off to a sour start for National and its leader. MPs returned to Parliament today, less than 24 hours after a key political poll showed the opposition party behind Labour for the first time in more than a decade. And in the preferred Prime Minister stakes, the News Hub Reid research poll had Simon Bridges pipped by senior MP Judith Collins. And that isn't Mr Bridges' only headache. Today also marked the return of the now independent MP Jami-Lee Ross to Parliament. Here's our political editor Jane Patterson.
Another day, another stakeout of National MPs, and the questions were all about the party and its leader's dip in the polls. Northland MP Matt King was among those trying to keep everyone happy.
It's not an either or. We've got Simon as our leader.
And what about Judith though?
I like Judith. I like Simon. I like Judith. I like a few of our leaders. So.
What do you mean it's not an either or? Surely only one person can be leader.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a case of knocking Simon out because Simon's our leader. So.
But would you be happy to see Judith as leader? You've just said that you like...
Oh, look, there's a number of people in our caucus that could lead our party. Absolutely, there's a number of them.
A former leadership contender, Amy Adams, tried to focus on the volatility of the polls.
Look, we're polling, even by that poll, 41%, and I think if that poll had been taken any other night, you could have had a quite different set of numbers. I think actually where we're polling is pretty good for this stage of the cycle. We're very happy with it.
And she backs Simon Bridges' leadership, saying it's not an easy job.
We always want our numbers to grow. We're always conscious of doing things to move them in the right direction, but what I can tell you is the caucus is very comfortable with how we're tracking and certainly very united behind Simon.
Deputy Leader Paula Bennett was on the same page.
Look, we just think that Simon's our leader, backing him 100%. It's going pretty well as far as we're concerned.
While National support is still a respectable 41.6% in the party vote, a bigger headache for Simon Bridges is the preferred Prime Minister rankings. One-time leadership contender Judith Collins leapfrogged him to register 6.2%, ahead of Mr Bridges on 5%. She says she's not intending to go for his job.
I'm not even interested. My role is to stay very focused on holding Phil Twyford to account, and I think I've been doing, if I may say so myself, a reasonable job on that.
A few hours later, Simon Bridges fronted up to reporters about the poll result on his way into caucus.
I'm very confident and comfortable in my leadership. Always a party vote that matters. That's jumping around, but the truth of that is you've got right now a party in opposition that's polling as high as any other I can think of halfway through a new term.
Mr Bridges attributes some of his difficulties with his personal poll rating to the controversy involving Rebel MP Jami-Lee Ross.
I had to deal with a difficult issue last year. It's all there for all to see. That was disappointing for New Zealanders. I think though now we've moved on.
Mr Ross also arrived back at Parliament today as an independent MP after his spectacular fallout with his former colleagues last year. He says he's planning to see out the term and advocate on issues like mental health and housing. Mr Ross says it's good to be back working for the Botany electorate.
I was concerned when I first got back out of the Mental Health Institute to see what the reaction would be, but there's a huge amount of compassion and kindness from humans, and I'm enjoying that, and I appreciate that from my constituents.
Simon Bridges says he's given a statement to the police who are investigating claims of electoral fraud made against him by Mr Ross last year, allegations Mr Bridges denies. He says he's not sure of the time frame for that investigation. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Jane Patterson.